he's been able to overcome every obstacle, every turn. He's been able to accomplish an amazing thing. He will be ready to play and be a star, and he'll do a great job. He's an amazing athlete. He's got an amazing arm. He's got a great competitive edge, and he's got the ability to make some great plays. And so, the reality is there's no higher level than what he was playing at in college, in terms of Division I football, and he was able to do it and play it at a high level and do it really, really well.
That's Russell Wilson talking about Kyler Murray on the Mike Tirico podcast and some similarities between Wilson and Murray. Wilson has to be happy that there's a quarterback in the NFL shorter than him, even if not by much. But the baseball background, transitioning to football, Wilson has been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL since he was a third-round pick in 2012, paving the way for Murray to even be in the conversation to be the first overall pick. I don't know without Wilson we get to the point where Murray is accepted as a possible number one overall pick. But here he is, Chris, and I think Wilson makes some good points about what Murray needs to do. But, whether or not he's able to do it by the end of April isn't going to affect whether or not he's one of the first 2 or 3 names off the board.
No, it's not. And, to your point, too, yes, I don't know if Kyler Murray is being talked about as the first pick unless it isn't not for Russell Wilson. And I think the combination of Baker Mayfield going number 1 last year and a team having the guts to do that and pull the trigger there, and then it working out for everybody to feel at ease and go, oh, okay, you can do this out there. But regardless, Kyler Murray is a special player. He certainly is. There's no flaw in his game. I turned on the film like I've told you so many times, Mike. I wanted to hate on him. I thought, I try to go into film really thinking that way a lot of times, so I have no preconceived notions about the player or whatever it is, but it's flawless. The only thing you have to concern about is the size and the wear and tear of the season. Stats in the commercial break brought up a good question. Does 1 year of playing concern you? Hey, a little bit, but it's not a deal breaker. He's still been around a lot of football, been around like guys like Cliff Kingsbury when he was in Texas A&M. He was there behind Johnny Manziel and some other guys. So he's seen a lot of football. He's learned a lot of offense, and I think he is pro ready. And Mike, I had this conversation with my dad on Saturday. I get the sense that Kyler Murray is just playing it so cool right now and just like he knows something we don't know, like Baker Mayfield last year. Do you think he already knows he's going to Arizona and he's just kind of playing it cool and letting all this go out? I almost get that sense at sometimes.
Well, I think Baker Mayfield was playing it cool last year just because that's who he is. Mayfield, I think, knew what his floor was. But he didn't know what his ceiling was. He didn't know he was going to be number 1, but he knew he was going to go top 10. I think at some point along the way it became obvious to him. But I don't disagree with the idea that Murray,
feels very comfortable in something.
And that's a far cry from how he was the week of the Super Bowl because he didn't seem comfortable at all. I think he was either wrestling with the decision of baseball versus football or more likely wrestling with how to properly unveil that he's all in with football, and somebody decided, hey, let's act coy about it and let's milk this and let's draw. And I don't think he's comfortable with that. I think he is who he is, and I think when he's able to live that way, he is more comfortable. And I agree with you. I think something has given him that comfort, that peace, that idea that he's not stressed. He should be stressed.
Yes.
He's not stressed, and I think there's a reason he's not stressed. He knows what his floor is, and there's a chance his floor is number 1.
Yeah, well, I think that's what the fascinating conversation is about the quarterback this year. Arizona at 1. If Arizona doesn't take him at 1, where does he go? That's where I want to go. That's where it's so interesting this year. There's no team in the top 10 that is in desperate need of a quarterback. Did the Giants take him at 6? I don't know what the hell the Giants are doing right now. I'm not so sure they're not bought into Eli Manning for 2 more years, like we talked about last week when my father came on the podcast. So are they going to pull the trigger at 6 for a franchise-type quarterback? Would they, if they did, would they pull the trigger on Kyler Murray if the Arizona Cardinals didn't draft him? Then you look at the next teams in the conversation and you go, okay, Cincinnati at 11, they're kind of sitting under the radar here right now. they got to be thinking of making a quarterback switch at some point here in this decade. Okay, and then I look at Miami Dolphins and the Washington Redskins. Will they make plays to move up? How is it going to shake out? But the quarterback conversation as far as the draft this year is as weird as I've ever seen it, because teams in the top 10 are pretty much set up at the quarterback position, and I think that's what makes it very intriguing.
We're going to delve into that more deeply in the next segment, the teams that may be likely to move around. For now, though, with Murray, one more cut from Russell Wilson talking about Kyler Murray on the Mike Tirico podcast, saying that Murray's going to need to work on physical and mental skills to be as great as he can be. Here's more from Russell Wilson.
It's all about the study habits. It's all about the work ethic. It's all about the mental side of the game. And he's got the physical side, and he has the mental side. So when he puts those two together in the National Football League, just like he did in college, he'll be a star and he'll be great.
That's great insight. It's funny. We got the clip of Kyler Murray doing the drop back, smile on his face, did you see that? He's smiling.
He
flipped the ball. Man, the guy, he knows something's up. I think he knew what he was doing last week was just checking the box, doing what you do. This is what we do.
Right.
When in Rome, right? I got to go out here and do this thing. I'm not doing anything but throwing some passes to my buddies, get a little sweat going, get a little workout in, maybe have a little ice cream to celebrate since he was sweating like I mean, I understand that you're working, but my God, he was sweating like crazy last week.
Cardinals weren't even there to make it look not so obvious. It looked obvious.
Yeah. There we go.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.